Okay, so I'm gonna take a little bit of time to work on my business plan and eat lunch. Usually I would be working out, but not today, because I have a little bit too much to work on. So we're just gonna work on this business plan. I should actually retitle this. All right, let me write that down. At least that way people know what we're doing today because we're not working out. All right, y'all. So working on a business plan. I am just getting off of a call with my mentor to discuss my business idea, which is very exciting, while eating lunch. And so right now I am, hi, Kanyum, hi. So I am going through like this spreadsheet, which I'll give you guys like a back camera view of it. So right now I've got like my idea actually over here. This is my workspace. And then over here, I am working on a little bit of research for my business. And so that's what the work is today. I usually would be working out right now, but in support of like just staying on top of my goal to lose 10 pounds of fat, we're eating a bowl of rice, sweet potatoes, beans, and cabbage. I made a homemade dressing. It is delicious. And so I have been enjoying that while I get a few things done. I'm just adding some items to my list. Hi, 50 Vincenzak. Hello. Hi, how are you? So I just met with my score mentor, which was very exciting. And I'm going to be prepping for my second score meeting. And score is basically, oh, thanks for subscribing, Vincenzak. Vincenzo Z. I think I said it right the second time, the last time. Yeah, Vincenzo Z. Thank you so much for joining. I appreciate that. So right now I'm just writing down a couple of steps that I need to take, probably by December 1st at the latest. Hello, my friend who is writing in Russian. I can't read what you've said, but I'm sure it's lovely. I can see the hi, so I'll say hi back. But yeah, I just had an amazing meeting. It was very productive. I've learned so much. Yeah. I always find it interesting that there are people joining in from Russia because I don't speak Russian, and I can't read it, but it's always fun to see where people are from. So I've been working on my market research project just to figure out like where the market is for my business and to get a better idea of how to put everything together, so that I can start to make some headway and get into contact with some schools. And so one of the big things is actually just like writing out the business plan itself. So I'm gonna pull up a helpful tool to kind of like outline what my business plan should look like. And actually, I think I might have one on my Google Docs. So let's see. I think I might have one on Google Docs. Yeah. So I'm just gonna take this like starting point and work my way back. Also, thanks for the like. I really appreciate that. Thank you so much. So basically, this is my business plan, and it's very simple, very basic looking, but like it's just the outline. And it's helping me to like identify the different kinks in the market that exist and where my business will fill in and support my customers. Oh my God. I did not expect that entire thing to come up. Let me try that again. Let me just scoot that back on there. That was surprising. Okay, I think we're good now. Yikes. So, right now my business plan starts out with just like the very bare bones outline, and I'll be filling it up and filling it out over the next few days while I really try to identify different things that I'm doing. I know that it's going to be a plan that starts as a 1-year plan. And I anticipate that once I've gotten a little bit more knowledge and experience in like selling, that the plan will expand hopefully to 3 years, as I start to get a little bit more information on what the like market is looking for in this specific space. So that is to come. Right now, yep, I wrote that I wanted to fill in the executive summary once I've actually finished the plan, so that I can come back and say, this is what I'm going to do, and have it be really simplified. And so, yeah, now I'm at the point where I've written out that my business is a venture to create a simplified school search experience for parents who are professionals, who are looking kind of for like that best fit experience for their child, but who don't have the time to vet every school, and who don't want to be limited on the outset, but instead get like some really great recommendations, and get to know the personality of the school, not just what's on paper, but like who's behind those words and how do they show up and how do they care for children. So that's something that I'm doing next, is just going from this statement to outlining the mission, vision, and values that like kind of are encompassed by it. And so like right now I have some values written out. So I was thinking like sincerity, transparency, accessibility, alignment, reach, and storytelling. I think those are some pretty important values, like understanding that there's power in narrative, and recognizing that who has the power of narrative determines a lot of the different things about, you know, what people think about you, how they think about you, if they think about you, right? Is your story something that makes a big impact? And so my hope is that all of my clients feel like stars. You may have noticed that like my values like outline spell star, with 2 A's. But yeah, my goal here is just to like kind of help people feel like they shine and like they matter. And so that's where that kind of comes in. And the idea is to build a multimedia database of schools where there are interviews that people can look to understand what the schools in their area are really like. And it's really hard to get that vibe from a piece of paper or from a website. And it's great if you can go to like a resource fair and like meet different schools who are sharing that they're like opening or whatever that is, right? But it's not the most efficient way because you might be talking to, you know, a lot of people who are going to go to your school, and that's great, but there could have been a broader reach for teaching people about your school, teaching people about your values and how parents can get involved in sending their children to those schools for people who may not come from backgrounds where they went to private school on a regular, like throughout the generations. I know that for myself, I was not private school educated, but my daughter is in a private school. And that was a really big jump because it was just outside of what was normal to me. And I realized that even if you're used to this concept of like private school and how to suss out the right schools, it's still the steps that it takes to go through this can be pretty intense. And so the idea is that families can understand how these schools work while they're doing their laundry, while they're doing their commute, while they're showing up for, you know, the PTA meetings, right? That they can just like, or not PTA, I guess, because they wouldn't have a school yet per se, right? But while they're thinking about moving, right, and they haven't moved to the new area, that they can interview these schools in a sort of ad hoc, not ad hoc way, but by proxy through the podcast, right? And then as people start to identify, oh, this school sounds pretty cool. Oh, this is only a little bit outside of my search area, or this is right next to where we live, and we should really invest in this. Jamie, we were in the same school. That's what's up. But yeah, like as people are starting to identify where they want to go to school or where they want their child to go to school, they'll be able to get that first impression really, really quickly. And maybe they want to explore the school more, or maybe they're not really that interested in that particular area. They can kind of figure it out from there, but they get the options kind of put in front of them. And they, of course, will still do whatever searching they're going to do. But I just like the idea of giving parents more options, more access, more accessibility. Things are going really well, Jamie. Thank you. How are you doing? And I know that I probably should be able to tell, but I can't just from the first name. But which school is it that you're saying we went to? Because I don't have like your first and last name or anything. But like, what school did we go to together? Well, yeah, if you're still there, I'd love to know. Because I only see your first name, so it's a little tough for me to identify you. But if you remember me, then maybe you know where we went to school together. That'd be cool to know from me. But yeah, I'm gonna be collecting all of these all this information from different independent schools throughout the Hudson Valley region. And this database is really gonna be like hyper local and high value to people who are moving into this area. And hopefully as I establish myself in this. Oh, okay, cool. But yeah, I'm doing really, really well. I'm over here just talking about a business plan that I am working on right now. So I'm just like reviewing the outline before I go in and I rewrite it and fill in all the little sections with my input. So I have like started to think about the big picture, mission, vision, values. And then I've gone in and I'm looking at the products and services now. So that's like kind of the next section that I need to fill in. And I believe that like the schools, so it's going to be like a B2B model. And let me just double check that. But I believe it's going to be business to business selling. Although I would like to work with families and parents directly. And also thank you for the additional like. I really appreciate that. Although I'm going to be working with parents directly at some point, I want to begin with kind of a B2B marketing and sales model. So I just want to double check that I have the B2B model described properly. So yeah, basically it's a selling of information, right? But packaged in this way that gives people an experience, and that gives people a little bit of empowerment. So they will be receiving information through the podcast, right? And schools will be placing themselves on this podcast and sharing a little bit about their school and their backgrounds and what it is that they bring to the education space as far as like their unique value proposition of families. And the families will be able to watch this podcast and get a glimpse of the behind the scenes of the school, get a sense of the spirit of the leaders who are in administration, and really understand like who are these people and what do they offer. And then as they're making decisions, they will have a little bit more background to go on rather than feeling like, oh, I can't interview all of these places. They'll be able to do these interviews while they're working out. They'll be able to do these interviews while they're, taking a shower. They play it in the shower headphone or the shower speakers while they're taking a walk. While they're picking up their kids from daycare, or if they are looking for a daycare, then while they're on the way to go visit certain places, they can also be listening to this podcast. But it's something that can really let you multitask while you're making dinner, food prepping, whatever it is, right? But it gives people that opportunity to really zero in on the places that they feel would be the best fit for their families before they spend all the time, money, gas going to these schools, figuring out where the right place is, like in a more final way. And the most exciting thing for me is that as a business owner for this, I will be learning so much, and I have already learned so much about how many schools there are, what are some of their enrollment goals, what are some of their sort of mission, vision, and value statements as schools, and how do they serve students? What are some of their pain points? What does the marketing space look like for these schools? It's all very interesting to me. Buenas tardes. Hi, Janata. I feel like that's Portuguese. I should know it, but I don't. Hi, Sarah Lynn. Sarah Lynn. Hello, hello, hello. I do not speak Portuguese, and I actually can't figure out what that means. But for today, on this day, I am working out my business plan, and I thought I would talk to you guys for a little bit and just give you a sense of like what the behind the scenes really looks like here. Hey Google, set the living room light to magenta. Let's give it a little bit more of a peaceful vibe. It's very aggressive back there, so let's soften that a little bit. Je vais no Brasil. Have I something? I don't know what that means. I'm sorry. I don't know. Is that like, do I know of Brazil? Maybe. I've never been. But I'm assuming that this is Brazilian Portuguese now, specifically, and I don't know that language. So if you would like to add a little bit more context, maybe I'll figure it out, but I'm sorry, I don't know what that says. But yeah, the transactions will go from me to the schools and vice versa. And the benefit is that the market of parents are going to be reached in a really unique way, in a highly visible way. I think that is, in the long term, going to be very helpful to parents who are seeking this information, but then also to people who just want to like slowly explore the idea of even going into the private school sphere. Because it is very much so something that I don't think people automatically just know, right? You may know that you want to put your child through school, but you don't know where. I'm from New York, so I live in the United States. I knew that one. But yes, I'm from New York. I do understand Spanish, but I 100% do not understand Portuguese. So yeah, sorry. I still have so many languages to learn in this life. Excuse me. But yeah, so I'm from New York. I'm from the US. That's a little bit about me. The weather over here is very crazy. It was snowing. And now it's very calm. But yeah, the weather has been kind of wild. You've been there before. That's beautiful. What did you think when you went to New York? Or did you go somewhere else? Like you've been in the country, but have you been to New York? If you've ever been outside of the city, it's really, really pretty. The city's nice too, but I'm very partial to the rest of New York State. I think it's gorgeous. You're from the city that's hosting COP30. I don't know where that is or what that is. What is COP30? Oh, my body. I'm so sleepy. My daughter kept waking up. Well, waking up is the wrong word. She didn't have a restful sleep, let's say. And because I check on her, it means I didn't have very restful sleep. Oof. Okay. So yeah, we're working this out. But the exciting thing is, once I have this more tightly described, I'm gonna have a much easier time of sharing this information with other people and making more sales conversations happen, and like getting to where it is that I really want to be with this business. So I'm looking forward to it. I know it's gonna be a learning process, but I'm up for the challenge. Oh my goodness, but I wish I was not so sleepy. I need water. That's what I need. I'm dehydrated. Okay. Much better. Let's put a little music on. I'm gonna look at some samples. I think that will help me think. Oh, shit, undo. Oh my God. I thought those were mine. Let me move his calendar so I don't see it. Oh, my goodness. What even is today? Oh, Kevin, you were here. I'll have to write you a comment after this, but I'm okay. Everything is fine. Just was working on a business plan and then had some meetings, and I was still on live. But yeah, everything's cool. I was on mute, just chilling. But I am gonna hop off because it has been a really long time of me sitting here, and I have a couple of things that I need to do. But I figured you all could just see me be boring sitting at my desk, because this is what I do when I'm not working out and having fun with you. But you know, it's all a fun part of the process of growing up and glowing up. So here we are. Okay. All right. I will check in with you all real soon in the next one, aka probably tomorrow. But yeah, thank you for hanging out with me and working with me. I'm excited to show you all my progress on my business plan, and continue to make progress on my body with you all. So yeah, thanks. I'll see you real soon in the next one. Bye.